Super, super fire. So it's 2:05. Let's get this party started. Welcome to the Content Creator Mastermind. Thank you guys all for being here. Thank you for your time, your attention, your energy. For those of you that have your cameras on, thank you so much for that. It makes a huge difference. This is the Content Creator Mastermind, and the first breakthrough that you can have on camera is possibly here on Zoom, right? So we want to make sure that you guys are getting on camera, right? Because that's going to be the way that you guys are going to be able to grow and expand and grow your business. And it's such an important aspect of our real estate businesses. And, people have been saying this for years, but I really feel like, after COVID, everything kind of hit fast forward. And I am so over the top excited to have Jenny Rossette here as our next guest here for the Content Creator Mastermind. Most of you guys, I dropped her social media link into the chat box, so make sure you guys give her a follow. Just give you guys a little bit of background about Jenny. She's a bilingual, high-producing agent at the top 1% team in San Diego, the Gabe Mendez Group with eXp Realty. Jenny has helped over 50 families achieve their real estate goals. And not only is she a wonderful mother, with your baby's amazing and beautiful, was highly involved in the community by educating, leading, and advocating for young Latinos to achieve the American dream of home ownership. She is also a micro-influencer with a combination of over 20,000 followers across all social media platforms. Welcome, Jenny, to the Content Creator Mastermind. Thank you so much for being here, my friend.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. It's nice to see everyone on here. I'm so glad you guys were able to make it. And I'm super excited to be on here, share with you guys what I can and what I've done to grow my business.
Absolutely. And I love, we hopped on a couple of minutes before, the conversation actually started up. And I love what Jenny, it's no secret why she's succeeding at it. She says, I love social media. She's like, I love talking about this conversation. I love talking about this topic. So before we get into like tactics and all of the other valuable stuff that you're going to share, I want everybody to know your story. You were sharing a little bit about your background, right? You've been 4 years in the business, right? So relatively newer. But you've already done extremely well. So talk about a little bit of background, what led you get into real estate, and that way everybody gets connected to you.
Yes. So I told Leo a little bit already, but just to give you guys the story, I grew up very poor. I would say like low class, right? None of my family has ever owned property at all whatsoever. I've never even heard of them talk about real estate. So when I was in the works of finding a new job out of high school and everything, I knew I really wanted to work in an office. That's what I knew. I wanted to work in an office job and dress up and be on a desk typing away, So I didn't know where exactly or what I was going to be doing, but I remember I was on Craigslist. I was looking for jobs and I found a receptionist job at a small boutique, a small brokerage boutique. And I went to this interview, and typically, not to boast or anything, but I usually kill it on my interviews. And this was the worst interview I ever had. But I remember when I was walking out of my interview, watching the receptionist that was there already. And I walked out of there like, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to find another real estate firm that I can work at. So I ended up connecting with Keller Williams, and I interviewed at Keller Williams, and I think I did a great job because I got a second interview with the CEO. And but they ended up calling me and they told me that they were going to hire one of the family members of one of the agents who already worked there. But the manager told me that it was a really good interview and they were going to keep my resume around. So fast forward a few months, they ended up calling me and they told me that they fired that girl, that she didn't do a great job, and they kept my resume and they wanted to see if I was still interested. I didn't know what to do because I had actually just signed up to go to esthetician school. So if any of you are familiar with esthetician school, you have to go to school from like 8 to 5, like an all-day school thing. And it interfered with the hours that they wanted me to be there, which was like 8:30 to 5. So I had to make a really big decision, and I felt everything inside me that I had to go with the job. So I took the job, And I remember just being surrounded by all the realtors. That was the energy, the exact energy that I had been craving and looking for. Because I just had like this fire inside me where I knew that I was going to be doing something big. I just didn't know what it was. I didn't know. So I was like, I don't know anything. I remember on my first day, I told the manager, I was like, I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions because I don't know anything that you're talking about. So just bear with me. But I promised her I was gonna do a great job. So I ended up being there for a year. And then I decided to get my license. So I got my license in 2018. And so I've been licensed for 4 years now and doing this for 4 years. I went all in. I literally was in debt like crazy, crazy debt. I didn't sell anything for my first year. I wasn't with the best mentorship in the beginning, and then I found Gabe. After that, they connected me with Gabe at Century 21 Award, and my first month with Gabe, I sold my first house. So that I don't have the exact count, but I have sold over 50 homes with him.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. And it's very there's so many things that you shared there. Like, man, your life could have been, it could have went in many different directions, right? From esthetician and then, not getting the job, and then, but you kept with it, right? You knew that you didn't even know you wanted it exactly. Like, it's so interesting, how you got into the business, because you got into an environment, you were energetically connected to it. Then you got in there, you're like, hey, these are my people. I want to be around this community. Year later, you end up, getting, hey, I want to become a licensed agent. But then after that, you still had a challenge, right? Like trying to get up, because of your debt that you've accumulated. And what I want to acknowledge you for is not giving up, right? Not quitting, because at any one of those moments, you could have stopped, you could have gave up, you could have quit. And then you found a great mentor, great leadership, you plugged in. And what I keep hearing, when you're sharing, you're very humble and you have a learning mindset, right? Like that's one of the things that I'm getting from as you're sharing. So talk a little bit about now you got your first transaction, and how this connects with social media, because you shared with me that 90% of your business is coming from social media. So talk a little bit of how that journey started.
Yeah. So the reason I got connected with Gabe was because I didn't want to do the traditional type of cold calling, door knocking. I wanted to do social media. I've always had like the desire of being like an influencer type of thing, so
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to use and leverage social media selling homes. And I had always I think at the time when I started, social media was really new for real estate and not many realtors were doing it. But I remember constantly seeing Gabe's stuff. And it's so funny because my mom had been wanting to purchase a home and she showed me a video of Gabe.
That's awesome.
um,
Wow.
so um, the manager at Century 21 was the one who connected Gabe and I, and she said, I think you'd fit really well on Gabe's team because he runs all his business through social media, just like you want to do. So that I wanted to do everything through social media. So I've done a lot, like make basically the beginning was more like fake it till you make it type of thing, like just dropping videos and knowledge on the stories and the post, so that way eventually you can start attracting that type of clientele through social media.
Love it. So you found yourself obviously a great mentor, leader, Gabe. You started following him. You knew that you wanted to crush it with social media, not going the traditional route, right? With just the cold calling, door knocking, and all those things. And you started just posting and just kind of trying everything. So which platforms are you using right now? Is it just Instagram? Are you using anything else? Share a little bit about that.
So primarily Instagram, and that's primarily where I get all of my leads from. Um, Everything rolled out. Obviously, TikTok came out and it became really popular. So I've been using TikTok as well, and Facebook as well. Facebook has a completely different type of like um, clientele than Instagram does. But typically, what I've noticed is if it's usually people who I know, so it's
Mhm.
people who are following me who I've met me before. I know them from school, church, whatever it is. And then a lot of them end up referring me their friends and family. We
Mm.
leverage a lot our testimonials on social media. So every time I have a closing, I leverage that closing like crazy. I'll do
Mm.
pictures, professional photography, or on the phone. I'll do videos. Sometimes I'll even make two reels out of the video with the content that I have. So that way, it I'm showing people that I'm actually selling homes. So I leverage the testimonials a lot, and that those videos end up doing really good, and then they end up being shared, and then more people end up reaching out to me, or even their family and friends, because those clients end up sharing that footage, the post on their Instagram, and their family members end up contacting me like, hey, I saw that you helped so and so find a house. I was wondering if you can help me, so that ends up
Mm.
working out a lot. Yeah.
That's
So
huge, huge, huge
TikTok,
testimonials.
yes.
Yes. So TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and then you're leveraging testimonials, two reels, professional photography, and doing things like that. So when did you first like really like when how soon did you after you started the journey of kind of like just posting, on these platforms, how soon did you actually start to attract clients? Like how long did that take? Because I think it's important to talk about that, just
Yeah.
to people not to give up on it too, right? I mean, I think it's still, so share about that.
It definitely took time, but I think I did have an advantage being on Gabe's team.
Hmm.
Because, I always tell agents, especially if you're new, it's always good to join a really good team, and making sure that that aligns, with how you want to do business, your morals, everything. So being on Gabe's team, being able to leverage his listings. So I was able to do a video, a listing video off his listings, even though they weren't mine. I was able to go even just do more footage out of his listings, informational videos, and having him mentor me on how to write a script for my video, how to film a video, everything. Even if you don't have a professional camera, like just having good lighting and using your phone. A lot of our phones are really, really good nowadays. So the video quality is super good. So it didn't take long for me. I think it's because I stayed very consistent with it. And I really, really, truly feel like social media has an art to it, and I love social media. So I was already very consistent with just like my personal side of it, like I like fashion. So posting pictures with my outfits and stuff. So I was already doing it consistently. So now it's just adding real estate into it, to the mix.
Mm.
Um, Being very consistent, top of mind, popping up on everybody's stories and feed, so that was
Mm.
just staying consistent.
Love it, love it, love it. That's awesome, and that's a really good nugget that you shared, right? Like you're into fashion, and that's something you were already doing. You're also obviously creating a community around that. So then you just started to infuse real estate into it, and you're talking about consistency, which definitely that's a huge one. When you say consistency, what does that look like for you? Daily? Is it weekly? And talk about ratios between like stories and talk about or post on your timeline. Like, what does that look like?
So that's the one. Thank you for asking that, because I think this part of it and this question is really, really important in order for it to help you grow your social media. If you guys look at my profile, I have I think 11.2 followers, 11,000 followers. It's all organic. I've never bought in my followers. I started off with Gabe. I don't even remember, but I want to say it was probably like 3,000 followers.
Mm.
And reels came out, I like jumped on it and leveraged the reels, and that's when my following grew out of nowhere. And I think it's because I was landing on the explore page. So my reels, my posts were landing on the explore page, and then my following grew like crazy. So as far as the posting, I would say I don't post every single day. It would be nice and recommendable, but I do post very frequently, if not every other day. One really big thing I would recommend you guys to do is if you have a business profile and a personal profile, I would get rid of it. I would merge them together, just have one profile. I'm really, really big on that because people want to see you. Typically, when I get a follower, uh, when someone starts following me and it's just business, I get bored and I stop. I'm like, I'm not even going to follow them. Like, it's just the same thing over and over again. Sold, 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 or whatever
Hmm.
is, so when it's a mixture of everything, like, oh, I'm gonna get to know this person, they're also like a mom too, or they have the same hobby as me, or but they also do real estate, like this is a badass woman or a badass man, so if you're mixing it all together, people get to know you, and then also that you do real estate too. So that has actually really, really helped me, especially me being a single mom. Like, I get a lot of following from a lot of other women. When you have your business profile turned on, you can see what the percentage of your followers is it female or male. A lot of my following is female because that's like the type of content that I'm posting. I'm attracting more females. Um,
Mm.
so that I would merge them together and share a little bit of everything. So my post, it's never back to back real estate. I tend to stay away from that. So I don't post like real estate back to back. I like to post like, maybe a selfie or maybe like a picture that I took at some place, and then the next day I'll post a informational video, and then the next day after that I'll post like me selling a house, and then the next day after that I'll post me and my daughter, so I mix it up to make it where it's entertaining versus it getting boring and repetitive. So that's
Mm.
something on. Um, and then for my stories, I mix it up too. I post real estate and I also post my personal stuff. So uh this is why I do this. I follow a lot of influencers, and I used to attend a lot of like influencer events. So they would give me like the knowledge of how to grow their profiles. Those people they do Instagram for a living. They literally get paid off of Instagram. So I was like, I'm going to go learn from the people who are getting paid and they're making a whole salary off of Instagram, right? So they are super strict. Like they even have like the times that they have to post too, so that's also important. Like it's really an art of what time you should be posting, what type of
Hmm.
posting. So mixing it up so that the consumer is actually getting to know you and they like you and they start to trust you without even knowing you. So
Mm.
they trust you, and then they're going to hire you because they feel like they're friends with you already. And I get that
Yes.
a lot of like friends on Instagram that when they meet me, they're like, I feel like I already know you, so that
Hmm.
happens a lot, and it's because I'm mixing it up.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, I never. That's business 101. People do business with people they like, know, and trust. So you're doing that through your platform, and I love the way that you broke it down. Right. You want to definitely just have one account. You don't want to have multiple accounts. You want to merge the personal and the real estate, the business side. And you kind of gave us a little formula, right? You got the real estate, you got a selfie, or you got some information, and then you have something with your daughter, right? Something family oriented, and then you have a testimony, right? So that's like a cool little flow and a sequence. That's like a 5-day sequence right there that can be repeated over time. And I love the way you said about timing and it being an art, right? Because I'm sure that you didn't start off like just crushing it day one. You started to learn and started to see what kind of reactions you were getting, and then from that feedback you were able to cater to it. And also learning from people that are getting paid, that's a huge nugget, right? Go outside of the, not just follow real estate agents, follow people that are already getting paid at a very high level. You're going to learn all those high level strategies. But
Yeah,
those are big.
keeping up with the type of content that they're putting out. So it's kind of like the where you're keeping up with the Gen Z era of it, where because that's really what's trending right now. So all the style of videos and everything, keeping up with all the trends so that you're not left behind either.
Yes, 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 I love it. Talk a little bit about mindset and what I mean, you obviously you got real estate, you got social media. I think a lot of people just don't post it because maybe they get in their own way. So talk a little bit about how you were able to get yourself out of the way. And obviously I know you were part of a team, which made a big difference because you had like direct access to people that were doing it at a high level, right? So how did you break out of your shell to be able to share yourself authentically?
Well, I do think it was because I was so excited, I was super excited. So that helped a lot. But definitely mindset is very, very important. And that's something, it's funny that you bring it up because it's something that I'm always like, I I get in a funk sometimes, like sometimes I'm like, shoot, I don't feel motivated. Like I haven't sold a house, or I haven't, all my leads are not approved, or, whatever the drunk monkey is that you have in your head.
Hmm.
But definitely surrounding yourself with the right people. For example, like Gabe and Cherish, if I can go openly to them with whatever I'm feeling, and will help me like realign myself basically, so definitely aligning yourself with the correct people so that you don't get in like this gutter of darkness and I'm can't do this, I'm not selling houses, and then not comparing yourself to anyone else is really important. Everybody, there's business for everyone. Every single person is in here is different. So
Hmm.
you different location, so that your city, or you have a certain niche, like, for example, Monica Singer, she works a lot with like more so influencer type of clientele. Leverage that you work with first time home buyers, become really, really good at your little niche, and leverage that, make a ton of videos about it. There's a lot of people who don't know about DACA or the I-10 programs or CalHAFA. Like, leverage that and just be super confident in it. That's what I'm always really big on, is you're not going to be able to sell something if you're not confident in it. So when I got into real estate, I was like, I have to learn everything first so that I can feel confident with selling real estate. So that when I go door knocking, I'm confident and I'm not like stuck or like, what do I say?
Hmm. Hmm.
I was already confident with being on camera, so I just had to create a script, think of a script, and then that's that's another thing. Like, there's a lot of things to make videos on, like a lot. We forget that the consumer has no idea, nothing. They don't know anything about what an FHA loan is, or what an appraisal is, or what the home inspection is, or how long is escrow. There's a lot of things you can do videos on. So I was able to leverage that, and I was so excited. And I obviously, like, I'm a single mom, so I have a daughter that I have to take care of and stuff. So
Hmm.
keep pushing forward, and just
Yes.
because I align myself, like the environment that I'm in, I'm with like hustlers, like Gabe is out there grinding all the time. Carlos is out there grinding all the time. He has a whole team he has to take care of. Our group chat with our team is full of us just telling each other every single day that we got this, we can hit our contacts, we can do an open house, so it's just really aligning yourself with the right people.
That's huge, 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 huge. Environment, your peer group, like who's pouring back into you, right? Because especially like you were saying earlier about mindset, right? When you're in a funk, when you're kind of out of balance in a way, then you could just immediately plug into your environment and get some, get re-inspired and just drop into a chat or something, and then get a laser focus on where you need to go, and really having the confidence is going to really come from you becoming an expert, in this business, and you being passionate. I could tell you're passionate about it. I mean, the way you speak about it, right? And that's what I think is really helping, with your social, because you're confident, you're passionate about it, and those are going to be the things that people connect with. So, which brings me to my next question. You've had 5 videos that went viral, 5 videos. So, talk a little bit about like, yeah, and I think we kind of talked about this. I'm like, like I don't even know the strategy. You don't know which one, but talk a little bit about that. Like, how did those videos go, and what did that mean? And share about the videos.
Yes. So, I have had a couple of videos go viral, right? They hit like the three digits, like 400 and something thousand views. And then the other ones are a lot smaller. They're like 14,000, 11,000, 10,000. There's a ton of those that are on my profile, but the ones that are like viral, so there's specifically one. It's funny because at that time, I think it was during COVID, the Bad Bunny concert was trending, that the tickets had just came out. So everybody was doing memes about Bad Bunny and how everybody was spending all their savings to buy their home to get Bad Bunny tickets, you know? So it was trending. So I was like, oh my God, I have to jump on this. I have to jump on something having to do with Bad Bunny and correlation to real estate so that I can go trending, you know? So what I did a reel of, I don't even remember the sound or anything. And I was super pregnant at the time, but it was like trying to make a decision of buying the Bad Bunny tickets or using the money to buy a house. And that video went viral, you know? Making sure that you jump on the trends is super important, because then, you know, like you have a really high probability of your video going viral. I also think it's super important though, that when I do videos and my reels and everything, I put a lot of thought to it. I'm like almost a perfectionist with it. I have to make sure I have good lighting. I have to make sure that I like look good. I have a good outfit and everything. My background is good, and that everything just looks good on the frame. And then when I'm editing the video, I make sure everything like looks good to the frame of when it's going to pop up as a reel. So making sure that my words are not going to get hidden on the bottom where the caption goes and everything. So I'm a very perfectionist when it comes to that. So I think that also helps. And then I also like when I'm posting it, it's so funny, but when I'm posting it, I'm like, this is going to go viral. You know, like I kind of manifest it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
manifest it like so good. I
Oh,
said,
100%. Because you're well, I love what you're saying, right? Like you say you're extremely intentional. A lot of intention goes into it. The lighting, the outfit, the background, the editing, you know, like making sure even the words, right? Because yeah, when it pops up something like if your captions are blocking out a certain aspect of your message, then it's gonna I have never even thought about it that. I haven't even checked that part out. So I'm going to be extra conscious of even just that little thing that you just said. But yeah, you're extremely intentional, which makes sense of why. And you said trends. So what is it that are you like just looking at other influencers and kind of figuring out what the trends are based on that? Are you using any like specific like things that you're keeping up with trends? Like how are you keeping up with that?
yeah, a lot of the people that I follow personally is a lot of influencers and a lot of like those meme page or like those news page. So they're always posting like things that are trending and stuff, like the memes and all that. So I like hop on the trends. Like I remember when Drake's album had came out with the little emojis. You know which one I'm
Mhm.
talking.
Yeah.
Uh,
I was just listening to that. The I'm too sexy. Like I'm too. That has one song on there, a bunch of songs, but yeah.
yeah, there was realtors who hopped on it, like making it about themselves, but with the album and correlation to it.
Mhm.
You know, when Halloween was coming, the little you did it, Leo. You know, like the little
Yeah,
costume.
yeah, that's true. The
know,
costume one. That's right. Yeah.
uh, so just hopping on the trends, but obviously right now reels are more trending than pictures. So making sure that you hop on it with a reel, and just being very intentional with what you're posting. Like I'm very intentional. The way that I think of it is I put myself in the consumer shoes. So if I'm the one scrolling and that post is coming up on my feed, am I going to hit like? Or am I gonna go and comment? Like, am I gonna go out of my way? Am I gonna watch the whole thing? You know, like, is it entertaining to me? So that's what I always think before I post it. Like, will somebody be entertained by this? Will they hit like? Will they comment on it? You know, because that's super important. That's really what's gonna make your video go viral and popular. Is that?
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta be inspired by your own stuff. I mean, like if you're watching it, you're like, I don't even know. Like if you already have that hesitation, then it's probably not going to move, and it's a pretty good indicator. But yeah, we're the best customers, right? Because we're consuming content, you know, constantly, right? And that's why I think that these kind of conversations are so important, you know, and it's about content creation instead of content consumption, right? Because we do that, but I mean, we're getting live feedback from it, but to actually create more content and get in front of the camera and be extra intentional. So talk about like apps that you're using that are helping you with your reels and Instagram and TikTok and all that good stuff. What are apps that you're using that you really like?
For my videos specifically, I use InShot. CapCut is also a really good one, but I tend to lean more towards InShot, INSHOT. That's how I edit all my videos. That way I don't have to go on a computer and edit it. I just literally do it all on my phone. Like I could be sitting here in the car on the way to Orange County and I'm just editing my video and it's really fast. You can do captions on there. You can do transitions on there. You can add music on there. The I tend to add on Instagram, but you can cut your videos. You can add like 100 videos and then cut them however you want. So InShot is really, really good if you want to edit your videos on your phone. And you can do the filters and everything on there too. So that's the really big one that I use. If not, like if I'm filming on TikTok, I tend to just film directly from the app. So TikTok is a lot of like real natural content, Instagram is more polished. The videos that go viral on TikTok, believe it or not, are more just casual. Are people really just grabbing their phone right now, making a video in their car, and then they post it? It's just you being more real. Versus Instagram is like more polished videos. You can do the voiceovers and all those cool, funny videos too. Those work too. But yeah.
I like that. The distinction. So a little bit more polished on Instagram. You got more organic and raw on TikTok. InShot sounds like it's your number one app that you're using. That sounds like a really powerful app, actually. So besides app and you talk a lot about lighting, like do you use anything else, like any microphones or any other things that go along with your videos? And the question with that too is, are you doing professional versus organic on your own phone? Or are you doing a little bit of both? What does that look like?
A little bit of both for sure. Obviously paying for videography is not cheap. But when
Right.
I can invest in it, I do. So I like to mix it up as well, doing some with my phone and then doing some professional polished content. So obviously if it's going to be professional and polished, they edit it and do their magic on it, so I don't have to worry about that. But when it's on my phone, I actually have it right here, but this light on Amazon
Oh yeah, you showed me that little light the other day. That's right.
super awesome and it helps so much with lighting. Mine's dying right now, but this makes a huge difference. I carry it in my purse all the time, so if I'm gonna make like a little story or a video or something, I always have good lighting. So this thing, if you guys want to buy it, I'll just send you the link. And
Yeah,
then
drop the
yeah,
link. Yeah, absolutely.
if not, I have a ring light at home, but obviously you can't take a ring light with you everywhere. So this helps a lot. And then
Got
the
it.
migration, no, I haven't jumped on the mic stuff yet. It sounds really cool and it looks really interesting. Everybody's hopping on the little mics and everything, but I haven't hopped on it yet. But maybe soon.
Okay. All right. So lighting and you're gonna hop on the microphones pretty soon. Cool. So we do you use anything else besides InShot, any other systems or anything else that you're using for your strategy? Anything you could share with the audience that like they're like, hey, this is something you've got to jump on, that you got to do for your content creation?
Well, like my photos, I edit a lot of my photos on an app called Tezza, Tezza. Tezza. It's just because they have good filters. Like the actual color, it changes the color
Mm,
of the photo. So I like Tezza. But other than that, no, I just use InShot or I use Instagram.
okay.
That's really what I use. Or if not, our videographer edits the video for us. So those are my go-to apps.
Love it. Love it. Tessa and InShot. Love it. All right, cool. If you were to restart from zero today, what's the first thing that you're doing, and talk about like your strategy moving forward, knowing what you know now, right? You're not starting from zero because you already have all this knowledge, right? But if you're starting all over, like what are things that you have to do and what would you do better?
It's so funny because a few of you already know this, but I had actually um, lost my Instagram account. So I almost had to start from zero.
I remember you were sharing with me. You're like, "Oh my God, my Instagram is gone." I'm like, "I can't get it." Wow.
But basically, Instagram took down my account. It's something about that I was reported for impersonating to be somebody else. I don't know what the deal was. Instagram has the most horrible like customer service. They don't have anybody you can reach out to. So I ended up having to pay someone a lot of money to get my account back. And I could have started from zero, but I I'm very emotionally attached to my Instagram because I've worked really hard for it and I feel really proud of my Instagram. I feel like it's my resume, you know? So
Hmm.
I worked to get it back, but if I had to start from zero, it would be pretty much the same thing, like going hard on posting consistently, good content, a lot of reels, um, keeping up with all the trends and everything. And what I heard has worked for some people is adding a whole bunch of people, and then like sending them messages if they need of your services and stuff. So it's like a little bit more personal. Um, but I would just go hard on the posting and all the content. That's what I would do.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, very, very. Yeah, it's simple, consistency, reels, go hard, mindset. Cool. Let's open it up for questions. Let's open it up for questions. I think it's an opportunity for you guys. If you guys are here listening in to the conversation, this would be an opportunity for you guys to ask questions to Jenny. Um, I have a whole page of notes myself. I'm actually taking a bunch of notes. So thank you so much for sharing all of this amazing stuff. So anybody that has questions, this would be your opportunity to do so. If you want to raise your hand, I can call on you. If you want to drop it into the chat, you can drop it into the chat. Whatever's best for you guys. Yeah, I love everything that you're talking about and sharing. And what your I mean, I guess a question that I have while we're waiting to see if there's anybody else that has a question. What's your strategy like moving forward? Are you just going to keep executing this play? Like what are things that you're inspired by like moving forward, like, a year from now, and how this is going to manifest in your business?
Yes. So, uh, my goal for this year with all social media is more to move more towards TikTok. If you're on TikTok and you keep up with like social media in general, Instagram is dying down a little bit. It's not, you don't have the same algorithm as you used to. There's a lot going on behind the scenes with Instagram. So moving over to TikTok, it's trending. It's fastest and easiest way to go viral. I've had a couple of videos go viral on TikTok too. I have 13,000 followers on TikTok, which is not a lot for TikTok.
Wow.
But you could get a lot more on TikTok. It's super, super easy to go viral. And I actually did a video for TikTok on DACA and I ended up getting leads from TikTok because not a lot of people are talking about DACA. And these DACA dreamers don't have any idea that they can purchase homes. So leveraging TikTok is really huge for me right now. I'm moving over to that side of it. I was keeping it more personal for TikTok. I was doing more like just me and like funny stuff and fashion, but I just opened up my real estate account for that one so I can start dropping real estate through TikTok, because I've noticed that a lot of realtors are going viral on there. I haven't seen anybody necessarily from like my city, but I've seen from a lot of different states. So the different realtors from different states and lenders are doing really, really good on TikTok. So I'm transitioning over there. I've heard a lot of people talk about on TikTok that Instagram might just die down, like eventually.
Mm.
Yeah, that a lot of people are not using it the same anymore. People are more entertained scrolling through TikTok. So I think hopping on like the new stuff is important. So that's
Yeah, powerful, powerful, powerful. Yeah, I'm just doing stuff on there, but I'm still learning it. So I'm definitely going to be implementing just like an organic strategy, like more of an organic feel on
yeah.
TikTok. And I think that's a huge nugget, right? Because you got to keep evolving and moving, with the platforms, because it's like where are the eyeballs, right? As marketers, right? So what
Yeah.
would you say are also another question that I have? you said you went to all the like trainings of influencers. What were like top trainings or top people that you followed that like, all right, cool, I learned a lot from this page or this person or this seminar? Like, what are top places where you can get more knowledge?
Well, at that time there was this group of two influencers that opened up a and I don't know if you girls on here will recognize it, but it was in San Diego specifically, but it was called Lemon Life Social. And it was like they would host events for influencers and they would talk about how they grow their Instagram and everything. But they ended up splitting up girls and they don't have the events anymore. So I wouldn't have one specifically to refer you to anymore, but they're the ones they split up. They don't work together anymore, but they were the ones who would host the events in San Diego, and that's where I would go. But I follow a lot of more like beauty influencers, and that's where I get like my ideas from how their videos look. How can I use that into like real estate type, and it's really like it just comes down to your lighting and how it looks really,
Right.
because and the information you're dropping, it has to be catchy like right away. You have
Yeah.
to catch right away and just short and concise, where it gives them the desire to want to contact you. Like, hey, I just saw the video you posted, and I get that a lot. Like, hey, I'm coming from the video you posted. Hey, I'm coming from the picture you posted. Hey, I'm coming from the video you posted. Like, I get that a lot. And then I don't continue on a conversation with them through DM. I get them on the phone right away. Like, yeah, I'd love to give you more details. Give me your phone number. And then they give me their phone number. Like, so
Mm,
the conversation on DM, you're gonna lose them super fast. Yeah, they're not gonna keep texting you. They're gonna think that you're asking for too much information over a text.
yeah.
So I get them on the phone immediately, and
That's a
and
huge nugget. Huge nugget. Actually, that is a conversion. That is a mega nugget for conversion, right? Because yeah, you can get lost in the sauce of just like if you don't get their contact information, and it's like at the end of the day, this is a contact sport. You got to get in communication, right? And definitely, if you're just like going back and forth in a conversation like that, they might just log off the platform.
yeah,
So that's
I just wanting to you, or they're gonna be like, oh, she already told me I need this credit score. I don't have that credit score, and then they stop responding to you. Versus you get
mm,
them on the phone, you build the rapport, you hear them out. Don't do the talking. Let them talk to you. What's happening in their life, and then you get them an appointment, connect them with the credit specialist. So just really going with the intention of setting an appointment and building rapport so that they have already spoken to you and you kind of just already become friends, like keeping it in the chat.
I like
um
that. I
yeah, so
think that's where most people are dropping the ball. I think that's where people are dropping the ball, right? Like they may be getting engagement and questions, and if they're just going like just question, and yeah, there's no true like engagement back and forth in a conversation where you can build rapport and build a relationship. I love
yeah.
that. I love that. So let's talk about closing thoughts. Any last thoughts that you have here for the audience? And if anybody again has any questions, you guys can drop it in about any closing thoughts. And obviously, and I don't know if we're on TikTok, but like we got to make sure that we drop your TikTok link in here too. That way people can follow you there.
um no, I mean, we can give you guys the key to success. Basically we can being successful on social media, but if you don't go and actually execute, you're really not going to get results. So really take everything that we've told you guys and go execute. Go buy one of these little cute lights, keep it in your bag, use it.
Mhm.
Don't this, who cares? I use it in public all the time.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Right?
execution by the little light. Anthony actually just posted a question. He said, "Are hashtags important?"
Hashtags, you know what? They're not doing really well anymore. It's not um we've heard from a couple of other big top influencers that they're not really being effective, but I'd still use them. Don't use them in the comments, use them in your caption, just in case it does work, but it's not as powerful as it was before.
Got it. Got it. Also, as that came up as a question, the the actual description of the video, how important is that with the video, the description? How important is that, and what intentionality do you have behind that?
Uh, it depends, because if it's like for pictures, yes, I would be very intentional with your captions. And then for reels, I keep it short because I'm giving the information on the video itself. So I tend to keep it short. Like, if this is you, send me a message, because when
Got
you're
it.
going on the actual like page where all the reels are popping up, where the middle button on your Instagram, when people are scrolling, only so little pops up of the caption. So
Mm,
short and concise with the reels captions is like, if this is you, contact me or send me a DM. So but for the pictures, I think being more intentional, yes, on the
okay.
caption.
Perfect. Perfect. Somebody just asked for the light, so let's make sure we drop that link that you have for your light if you have it. And then also another question, is text in the video more important in the actual video or in the caption?
Text in the video or in the caption? No, you guys should use captions on your videos. Even if you edit it in, you could use the captions from InShot, or you could use the captions from Instagram. That's usually my go-to. I just grab the captions from Instagram, because there's a lot of people who are watching videos without sound nowadays. So you can captions. And I actually learned this from TikTok. People that don't hear, it's really, really important that we put captions for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that your informational videos too. But yes, leverage
Love
the
it.
caption. And there's a lot of people like me where sometimes I don't grasp everything that you're saying. And if I have little captions, it's really helpful.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I feel like we kind of been programmed that way. I remember like I remember how powerful, like when I would go visit my mom and she has captions on her screen, I just like automatically magnetize my eyes. I'm like, I'm reading the caption the whole freaking time. Like
Yeah,
it's your eyes go straight to it, you know?
literally. And it gets you to pay attention a little bit more.
That's true. That's true. Very cool, very cool. All right, all right. So thank you
Drop
so
the,
much, Jenny. Yeah,
of course,
I,
drop the
I
little
really
link,
appreciate.
guys.
Oh yeah,
Mm,
drop the link. That way everybody can get the light. And any last questions before we wrap up this awesome content creator mastermind? And the recording will be sent out if you guys registered for this online event. You guys are going to get an email with it, as you typically do. And Jenny just dropped the link, so make sure you guys grab that link for the light. Cool.
Yay!
Awesome. All right, cool, Jenny. Thank you so much for your time, my friend. And thank you, everybody that tuned into the Content Creator Mastermind. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you guys.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.